Hello, fourth graders. Today, Bible is all about reviewing for the test that will be taken either Thursday or possibly Friday if you want that extra day to study. I'd like to spend a few minutes going over this paper, Who Said, which is student activity page 209 and 210. And this one-sided Bible Unit 12 review sheet. If you could have both handy with a grading marker or a pencil, that would be great. Pause the video if you need to go run, go get those. I want to make sure that you have the right answers because these are study guides to do well on the test coming up. The first thing I would like to go over is to make sure, I hope you spent a little time on this paper earlier today, just to make sure that you know some of these automatically. So I'm just going to show you the answers and quickly just give you the answer. Number 1, the person who spoke this was Elijah. Number 2, God did that. Number 3, the widow of Zarephath. Number 4, Elijah. Number 5, Obadiah. Number 6, Ahab. Number 7, the prophets of Baal. Number 8, the Israelite people. Number 9, Elijah's servant. Number 10, Jezebel's messenger. 11, Elijah. 12, Elisha. And 13, Ben-Hadad's messenger. So hopefully you've seen all the right answers. There they are, side 1. If you have any wrong, please correct them so you study the right thing. Back side. Number 14. A prophet or God sort of said that. Number 15, Aramean advisors. Number 16, Ahab. 17, Naboth. 18, Jezebel. 19, Elijah, kind of through the message of God. Number 20, Jehoshaphat. Number 21, Micaiah. 22, Ahab. 23, Ahab. 24, the company of the prophets. 25, Elisha. And 26, the company of the prophets. Hopefully you had many of those right. So as you study for this test, you may need, I think a piece of the test will be on who said these kinds of things. Remember, our story is all about these the stories of Elijah and how God worked through this prophet to call the people of Israel back to him during this reign of Ahab. And of course, you need to know some of the stories of King Ahab that we had last week. So I hope you have the correct answers to 209 and 210. I'd like to give you the answers for this review sheet, and please note that this review sheet is in what we would call chronological order. I'll give you a little hint. There's a little bit of an order thing, and if you remember just how Elijah moved sort of on that map, you might be that will be helpful for the test. So what happened to Elijah at the Kerith Ravine? God supplied Elijah with water to drink from the brook and sent food from the ravens. That is the miracle. So the story heading and what kind of miracle. You can expect a test question that would say, describe 1 or 2 miracles that God worked in through the life of Elijah. So Elijah confronts Ahab. Elijah told Ahab that there would be no rain for the coming years. Remember, when the water dried up at the Kerith Ravine, God told Elijah to go to the widow of Zarephath. What miracle took place here? The widow took care of Elijah. Her flour and oil did not run out until the famine ended. Later, Elijah raised the widow's son from death. So there's 2 miracles with the widow of Zarephath. And then, remember those big-headed people that talked to you? Elijah and Obadiah at Samaria. Obadiah, remember, he was in charge of Ahab's palace. He loved God and helped to feed and hide prophets from Jezebel. He was told to tell Ahab that Elijah wanted to meet the king. So that isn't a specific miracle per se, but you will need to know who Obadiah is. And then Elijah, after meeting up with King Ahab again, challenges him and the prophets of Baal on Mount Carmel. Remember where that was on the map. Elijah challenged the prophets of Baal. Elijah set up a sacrifice to God, and God showed his great power by sending fire from heaven. But remember, after that mountaintop experience, Elijah kind of crashes. He kind of gets depressed and feels bad because Jezebel wants to kill him. So Elijah flees Jezebel. And here's the other side. Elijah fled from Jezebel, who wanted to kill him. Elijah felt very depressed, and angels provided for him. And then right on the heels of that story, we see that the Lord appears to Elijah on the mountain. God appeared to Elijah in a still small voice, or the Bible might say whisper, to encourage Elijah and to assure him that he was not all alone. So this paper does a nice job of reviewing the stories of Elijah that you will need to know. So if I was a fourth grader wanting to do well on the test, what would I study? I would make sure I would pay attention to the stories of Elijah and know in my mind several of the miracles. Remember I said yesterday that the Bible records 7 or 8, depending on how you count them all, miracles in the Bible. You should know 2 or 3 of how God displays his power, showing that he is God. Another thing that I might grab from my pack is this completed paper of Ahab the Awful. This was a great summary of the stories that we had about Ahab, and you might want to know who Ben-Hadad is and who Naboth is, and some of those key characters are always a piece of the test. And the final thing that I would also have in front of me to study is this paper that we just went over, the Who Said. So if you have these 3 papers and you just keep looking them over, go back to old lesson videos if you want to, go look at other old workbook pages that you might have around for this unit, you will be in pretty good shape for this test. The test will be on Thursday, and it's going to be a matching of some of the people and some of the things that who they are and what they did. There's one little order, and if you pay attention to this Elijah paper and just kind of generally know the sequence of events of Elijah, you'll be fine with that. And then that God worked a lot of miracles. Maybe who Jehoshaphat is. You might remember who Jezebel is. We might remember how Elijah and maybe Elisha were faithful to God in their call to be a prophet. And so those are the things to think about to be prepared for the test that you will take on Thursday. And you can possibly have Friday if you need a little extra day to feel studied well for it. So thank you for paying attention. Do give it some time, and I hope you do really great. Have a good day, everybody.